why is it that denying policing to the most vulnerable communities is a solution? I know that's what the blue cities are doing, but why is that a good idea?
Well, look, I in no way stand with defunding law enforcement. I mean,
That's what your report says.
Sheriff Mike Sheridan, who taught me how to drive when I was 16 years old.
Wait. Your report, when your executive director said you wanted to defund the police, do you renounce this report? Mr. Jackson, do you renounce the report that you authored as executive director? Here it is.
Before we get into this explosive exchange, make sure you hit like, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications right now. This channel exists to cut through the lies, expose the hypocrisy, and defend common sense and American values. If you're tired of political doublespeak and want the truth without filters, you're in the right place. This is Capitol Truthline.
I want to talk about some of these policies that have gotten to where we are today. Mr. Jackson, if I could just start with you. You were deputy director in the Biden White House for gun violence and a special assistant to the president. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You're also affiliated with the Community Justice Action Fund. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm also a survivor of gun violence.
You were their executive director. When was that, the Community Justice Action Fund?
2021 to 2023.
And you're affiliated with them now?
Yes, as executive advisor.
Okay. The Community Justice Action Fund, do you disclose your donors?
Yes.
All of the donors are public?
Yes.
You're funded by the Tides Advocacy Group, among others?
They're a fiscal sponsor.
This is, right.
They handle our
donor.
HR.
Yeah. This is a George Soros funded group?
No.
He's one of the donors?
No.
He's a donor to the Tides Advocacy Group?
Yeah, that's our fiscal sponsor. So they handle our HR, our back office, our operations.
Great. Okay. Great. So in other words, I mean,
we're one of 300 organizations.
Right, that they run. You are a subset of them.
Pay them to be a fiscal sponsor.
Well, you are a subset of that organization, which he helps to fund, right? Okay. All right. Just wanted to get a level set here. So I want to ask you about some of the policies that you've advocated, because they're exactly what we see implemented in these blue cities, like defunding the police.
No.
Oh, indeed.
That's not. We advocate for.
Wait, I haven't asked a question yet. We'll get to. I've got a lot of questions. Believe me, and I'll give you time. So let's talk about this report that you issued when you were executive director, a policymaker's playbook. And I'll ask to enter it into the record, Mr. Chairman. Great.
Without objection.
Thank you. In this report, you advocate, and I quote now, defunding the police because the long-term goal is fundamentally to reimagine how the state serves its citizens in the project of public safety. You go on to say police departments traumatize residents through a destructive cycle of racist over-policing, and the answer is not to add any more money to police budgets. Talk to me about, why is it that denying policing to the most vulnerable communities is a solution? I know that's what the blue cities are doing, but why is that a good idea?
Well, look, I in no way stand with defunding law enforcement. I mean,
that's what your report says.
Sheriff Mike Sheridan, who taught me how to drive when I was 16 years old.
Wait. Your report, when your executive director said you wanted to defund the police, do you renounce this report? Mr. Jackson, do you renounce the report that you authored as executive director? Here it is.
You're the second senator to bring up an op-ed or
this isn't an op-ed. This is your report, a policymaker's playbook to reduce gun violence without policing communities.
Okay.
Community Justice Action Fund, copyright 2023, when you were executive director. Now you say you don't know anything about it. Now you say that you haven't heard of it, just like the Democrats who all of a sudden say, oh, we're all for the police. They've been advocating defunding them for years.
Okay, well, you can look at documents or you can look at results.
My question is, do you renounce this report now? You say you no longer agree with this.
And my answer is that I led the efforts to invest $42 billion in law enforcement.
You've advocated defunding the police as executive director of an organization that you still lead and are affiliated with.
Never see me advocate for that directly. What you see me advocate for
is
a comprehensive approach to reducing violence.
Right. The comprehensive approach is defunding the police, which is what this says
the entire time.
This is so typical of what the Democrats do now. After your policies have transparently failed and led to the deaths of millions of Americans, now you say you've never heard of defunding the police. Your own report recommends it on page after page after page. Let me ask about something else you say. Here's what you say we ought to invest in. Instead of funding the police, here's what we ought to invest in. We need to invest in programs that acknowledge the need for safe space initiatives led by lesbian, gay, bisexual, two-spirit, trans, and gender nonconforming people. What's two-spirit?
Well, look, I don't know exactly. You guys are pulling some interesting quotes.
This
here.
is from your report.
If you look at the report, the focus is on investing in violence intervention, outreach workers.
What is you
victim
say? You
services.
say that you shouldn't invest in the police,
So,
but we
yeah,
ought to
so
invest
these-
in
so-
two-spirit community programs that acknowledge two-spirit
Look, we are
individuals.
not going to discriminate.
What is that?
We're not going to discriminate against any nonprofit that
What
wants
is
to
a
help us
two-spirit?
prevent violence in
What
our
is
community.
two-spirit? You say don't fund the police, but do fund programs that create safe spaces for two-spirit people. What is? I just want to know. I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is.
Well, I honestly, I'm not completely aware of the language or
You
the
wrote
spirit
the
of how that was
report?
witten. But what I'm telling you is that what is
a two-spirit individual? I mean, really, this is your policymaker's playbook. You are the witness called by the Democrats on this committee, so I assume you reflect their views.
Well,
you don't want to fund the police. You want to fund safe spaces for two-spirit individuals. What is a two-spirit person?
I feel like I'm looking at a two-faced individual because you talk about reducing
Oh, no, sir.
violence.
You're looking at somebody who's
You're also
reading you
speaking
your
out
own
against
words, and I'd like to hear an
violence
answer.
programs.
Here's the answer. The answer is you don't have any solutions. You want to invest in gobbledygook and take away money from police officers who actually keep our communities safe, and when you're called on the record, you deny it. It's all there in
invested
black and
law
white,
enforcement.
and your
We
record is
invested
there in black and
community-based
white,
solutions.
and it's a disgrace.
We reduced homicides by 31%, and as someone who's been shot and nearly killed, I take offense that you would think that
I
the
take
last
offense
13
that you
years
won't answer my
were not
questions,
focused on
that you
reducing
deny your
violence.
own words, and that you are leading this committee astray, and frankly, sir,
Senator Josh Hawley absolutely dismantles a former Biden White House gun policy official in a Senate hearing, and it's not because of insults or theatrics. It's because Hawley brings receipts, facts, and the witness's own words straight into the spotlight. The man being questioned served inside the Biden administration and ran a gun control advocacy group that published a so-called policy playbook. In that document, they openly argue for defunding the police, claiming law enforcement traumatizes communities, and that public safety should be reimagined without traditional policing. But the moment Hawley reads the report back to him, the story changes. Suddenly, the same man who led the organization claims he never supported defunding the police. Suddenly, he says he's always been pro-law enforcement. Suddenly, he can't recognize his own report. This is the playbook every time. Radical policies when activists are cheering, denial when voters start paying attention. Hawley presses further and exposes something even more disturbing. The report recommends taking money away from police and redirecting it into vague social programs, including so-called safe spaces built around radical gender ideology. When asked to explain what those terms even mean, the witness can't do it. Think about that for a second. Someone trusted to shape national gun policy helped publish a document telling cities how to spend taxpayer money, yet can't explain the language inside it. That's not leadership. That's negligence. Meanwhile, real Americans are living with the consequences. Cities that embraced defund the police ideology saw crime surge, officers quit in record numbers, and response times explode. Families paid the price, not politicians, not activists, and certainly not the nonprofits cashing checks. Hawley calls it out plainly. You don't reduce violence by stripping police departments of resources and replacing them with ideological experiments. You reduce violence by enforcing the law, backing officers who risk their lives, and holding criminals accountable. And when confronted with the undeniable record, the response isn't accountability. It's deflection, denial, and emotional appeals. This hearing wasn't chaos. It was clarity. It showed exactly how the left operates. Write radical policies in the shadows, deny them in public, and hope no one reads the fine print. Josh Hawley read the fine print. And that's why this moment matters. If we want safer communities, we need leaders who aren't afraid to confront lies head-on and defend law enforcement without apology.